Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. We are going to be starting episode 4 today, and before we do that, as always, we're going to look back over the major decisions we've made. So you can pause the screen and skim Monday and Tuesday's major decisions, and then we can read Wednesday's together. We met Dustin's mom and found out about the squatter who kicked her out of her glass house. We finally took a shower. We met Janie, the pastor's wife, who cleans the estate once a week. Becca and Alexis are still buried in the mine collapse. Rescue efforts are ongoing. We met Beau, the late Duke's enormous son, and I told him where he could find his dad's body. Spent some quality time with my cousin. I think she's finally warming up to me. Met the mayor, Mayor Jimmy. We met Scarlet Hollow's resident creepypasta, and it seems that he shares my special gift, that being talk to animals. I again am so excited to see where that goes. We had dinner at Reese's. There's something hidden in the clinic, and it wants me to find it. We invited Tabitha ghost hunting. We argued a ghost into unhaunting the library. Objection! And we made plans with Sybil to talk about mysterious goings-on over tea tomorrow. Alright, some of these seem like they're just like regular story beats, like meeting Janie. I feel like that would happen anytime. Meeting the mayor, having dinner at the clinic, like those all seem like things that happen no matter what. So they beefed up this list of decisions a lot, but it's still good to know what we did. Alright, so we're gonna skip the episode 4 video recap and just get started. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Last night seems so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine. But your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hey, have you heard from Stella? I haven't been able to get a hold of her. Thought she might have at least checked in with you. You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. You dial Stella. Hey, what's up? Haha, just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Oh my god, Stella. I'm liking you better in this playthrough, but you're still the worst. Oh my god. Anyways, leave a message. Or don't. I never check this thing. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Text her. How's my favorite cryptid hunter? Wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. Tabitha said that Blaine probably didn't get to her, so... Haven't heard from her either. That's not good. I know we haven't exactly gotten along, but we should meet up in town and look for her together. We haven't? Oh, I guess not. Because I haven't been prioritizing Kaneeka like I did in like my original playthrough. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. You open the drawers. They both have a bread now. Human is back. Maybe changed mind about eating us. Could be the end of Dustin and Dustin Mom. I would never eat you. I love you. Dustin Mom know better than to trust. When push come to shove, survival more important than friendship. Dustin Mom spent too much time outside. It different inside. There enough bread for everyone here. No need eat friends. Dustin still have childhood innocence. Hope Dustin get to keep that innocence forever. I guess your glass house still has that squatter? Tried to reclaim glass house last night, but asshole squatter too big and strong. Dustin mom stand no chance. Might have to live in Dustin house forever. Human big and strong too. Probably more big and strong than asshole squatter. If the squatter is who I think it is, then I am not bigger and stronger than him. Sorry to burst your bubble, Dustin, sweetie. You fight? Give Dustin mom glass house back? I don't care how rustically charming you are. I'm not accepting a quest from a possum. Invite someone, I'll see what I can do. Can you tell me about this squatter? I want to know what I'm up against. Squatter have big, sharp things on head. Nasty attitude. Fast like bug, but big like monster. Big, sharp things on head? That doesn't sound like Wayne, actually. Big, sharp things on head. It's not talking about, like, his teeth, is it? Dustin shivers at Dustin's mom's description. We haven't really seen his teeth, I suppose. So it could be talking about that. Mom brave. Human be careful, but Dustin mom would be eternally grateful to human. Dustin too. I should get going. Okay. That's that. Alright, so do we have an option to go to the greenhouse and fight a squatter now? You make your way to the closet. It has moved. There's no denying it, the doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. Take a shower. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you think about the door, think about the afterlife, Stella running off. We already thought about the two girls. Think about someone special. Will this get me points? Specifically, you think about... Alright, so these are basically all our romance options. Stella, Kaneeka, one of the most level-headed and fashionable people in time. Avery and their coming presence. Oscar, the shy and handsome town librarian. Dr. Kelly is a romance option in this game, which I do not understand at all. I know some people are into MILFs, but I think to qualify as an ILF, a parent needs to not be abusive, you know? That's just my 2 cents, but okay, if you're into Dr. Kelly, I don't want to yuck your yum. You do you. Have fun. Wayne and the way he effortlessly crushed that ditchling. Wayne is also a romance option. I'm not gonna go with that right now. Reese, the chronically ill artist living in the clinic. You find something about his brooding and mysterious air alluring. Hopefully you'll get to know him better today. Oh, we will. We will, Diana. Don't you worry about that. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Head downstairs. It's time to face your cousin. You find her in the kitchen, her shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. They're striking. This week, of all weeks, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. If history is anything to go off of here, it almost doesn't matter how strong the strike seems. This is Tabitha's battle to lose. There isn't a union in Scarlet Hollow, which means a proper strike isn't even legal. Your cousin can do pretty much whatever she wants. She could fire everyone and wait them out, for instance, or pick and choose her targets. Like she told you yesterday, she owns most of the houses in town, after all. There's a lot of ways she can apply pressure to resolve a strike. Alright, I don't think I addressed the strike with Tabitha much in my first playthrough, because, like, I didn't want to get involved. 2 things have changed. One, in this playthrough, I'm friends with Tabitha now. And 2, as we mentioned before, Diana kind of sucks politically, so I think she might be on Tabitha's side. Talk about the strike. So that's why the ditchlings are here. They were predicting the strike. Yeah, let's be terrible. The gall of these people. After everything you've done for this town, some people just never understand the burdens of leadership. I'm glad at least one person in this godforsaken town is on my side. I appreciate it. Really. FYI, Tabitha, the real me would not be on your side. I said in episode 1 you're a pig, and that stands. I still love you, but you're a pig. Do you know what the strikers even want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. Alright. What happened last night? It feels good, doesn't it? Getting rid of something our family left behind like that? Sure, but you did most of the heavy lifting there. So ghosts are real. I still can't get over that. I can. What does that actually change about anything? I still have a mind to run, and you still have a funeral to attend. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. Any news about the trapped kids? We have confirmation of at least one voice down there. Oh, good! And the boys have been digging around the clock. I don't think it'll be long before we can put all this unpleasantness behind us. Of course, that hasn't stopped that kid's mom from being on my ass nonstop. I'm doing everything I can, but she's the kind of person who needs someone to blame. And I'm an easy target. Should probably get going, right? Yeah. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? In this episode, Tabitha, I will not be telling you. I saw a cutscene graphic of something that can happen at the end of this episode, and I am scared to tell you. I don't want you involved this time. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Alright, should we investigate the garden? Whatever kicked out Dustin's mom is in the garden right now. You better look into it before you head into town. The air is chilly today, the overcast sky hanging oppressively over the weed-choked flower beds. It's too cold. We're going outside everywhere else. We're going to the greenhouse. You start carefully picking your way through the underbrush. It doesn't take much effort to find a path. Cuttings of prickly raspberry bushes and tangled vines litter the ground around the greenhouse. The glass house, one could say. You step towards the door. Was that a freaking goat? It's sealed shut by a lock, and you catch a brief glimpse of a horned shadow through the ancient clouded glass. Try to talk to whatever's behind the door. Dustin Quest. Meet Dustin's true enemy. That's the achievement I just got. What's your name, little guy? Goat. Oh my god. Those are the sharp, pointy things on its head. It's its horns. I named an episode of Crosscode Wild Goat Chase recently. It seems I have been sent on another wild ghost chase. Goat chase. What are you doing in the greenhouse? Human put me here. Can't complain. Pretty sweet digs, honestly. Stays nice and warm, and there's plenty of eats, too. Did that human have a brown coat and big boots? Coat like what? Fur? Nah, not brown fur. Yellow fur. Just on the top, like all you humans. Don't know what boots are, can't help you there. Was it Bo who put you in here, maybe? He's blonde. Because it seems like he's talking about a blonde, and he does work on a farm. Where did you come from? Farm. Used to live with other guys like me. Kinda miss them, but not that much. Don't gotta share anymore. Okay, so yeah, he definitely came from the farm. Examine the lock. It looks sturdy. You'll need some tools if you're going to get this open. Maybe Stella or Kaneeka could lend a hand later. Guess I'll leave you to it then. See ya, or not. It's a wild world out there. Okay. You've investigated the garden. With Stella missing, it's best not to keep Kaneeka waiting for much longer. Okay, so Bo put a goat in the greenhouse. That is what I'm surmising. Alright. Hi, Frou Frou! You walk over to the cat. Oh, c'est toi. Qu'est-ce que tu veux maintenant? It's you. What do you keep doing? I don't know. I speak Spanish, not French, but I'm trying to use that to understand what she's saying. Alright. Thanks. Okay, I'm not going to tell her about the possums, because she would probably kill them just to spite me. You nod respectfully to Frou Frou. She scoffs, her tail twitching with annoyance, but you can sense she's less annoyed than she usually is. Maybe she's getting used to you. Bye, Frou Frou. Good talk. She scoffs as you turn away. Alright, let's go to town. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. Oh my god, there are ditchlings out here in the morning. They usually only come out at night. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. You can't help but feel countless eyes watching you from the tree line, a feeling that reminds you of your time in the woods with Stella. Ditchlings shouldn't be out in the middle of the day, though. They're getting bolder. As you continue the trek to town, you pause to stare out at the mountain range beyond the holler, contemplating a world that's blissfully unaware of the danger threatening the citizens of this tiny town. The world outside feels less real with each passing day, as the strange reality of what's happening in Scarlet Hollow gently uproots what you'd always taken to be the truths of our world. Your everyday worries seem distant, overshadowed by a fear and dread that hasn't stopped building up since the moment you stepped off that bus. Alright, I'm going to take another sip of tea. It isn't long until your journey from the estate is over, and you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Hey, you made it. I still haven't heard from Stella, and I've already seen a bunch of those ditchling things scurrying around in broad daylight. I know my mom said they're harmless, but we should start looking for her. Okay, so the issues between her and Tabitha. We don't get along with her because we get along with Tabitha, I guess. I was supposed to see her mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune. I should probably stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic vibe. A lot's happened in the past couple of days. Still, there will be plenty of time for tea after we've looked for Stella. Any leads? I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone else yet, so nope, none so far. She ran north last night, but that doesn't mean she didn't double back. I'm trying not to worry too much. It's possible she's safe somewhere, just not answering her phone, but I also don't want to bet on that. I'm kind of surprised you reached out to me, after all the issues between you and Tabitha. I care more about finding Stella than I do about the ongoing feud between me and your cousin. And I'm not going out there alone, because the last thing I want to do is go missing while looking for someone who went missing. We do everything in groups from now on. So how are you mentally? That's a great question. My concept of how the world works is being shattered a little more each day, so that's cool. Every day I feel more and more like I need to get out of this town before it swallows me whole, but I also keep feeling like there are too many reasons to stay. Like right now, I can't leave until I know Stella's okay. With her folks gone, the only people she has are her friends. And as her bestie, I can't just let her go running off into the woods to get eaten by a Bigfoot. And my mom is just so chill right now, it's driving me nuts. Anyway, that's how I'm doing. Probably about as poorly as everyone else who was at the library last night, except maybe Stella. Alright. Let's not talk to her and shatter her world about ghosts and shatter her worldview even more. I guess we should get started. Yeah, we're burning daylight. Where to first? Alright. Let's check everywhere. Let's go to Stella's house first. Definitely. I probably should have done that before getting you to come all the way down here. But to be honest, I was scared of wandering off by myself, just in case I ran into any other horrors from beyond the veil. It'd be great if this turns out to be nothing and she's just asleep in bed. You make your way towards Stella's house. Kaneeka knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. I'm not from around here. Is it normal for people to leave their doors open? Unlocked? Yes. Hanging open? No way, this isn't normal. We should go in, right? Yeah, we should go in. The living room is almost exactly as you saw it the other day. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Okay, nothing unusual so far. This is a perfectly normal living room. No blood or viscera. Not even a tipped-over lamp. That's good. Investigate the kitchen. She's got a big old portrait of Gretchen up there. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple of cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. Is Stella's kitchen normally this messy? I wouldn't call this messy. Stella's house has always felt a little sterile to me. This feels a little too lived in, if that makes sense. Though maybe that's just because I've only ever been over when she was already expecting me. Stella's room. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She has a Gretchen plush! She loves her dog so much. A lot of portraits of herself, it looks like. A portrait of many types of dogs. Cryptid stuff. A conspiracy board. A Mothman plush, of course. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. I'd better not hear a single comment about this room being messy. You go check Stella's computer. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? What if she's been gossiping about us? I kind of want to, but I might save that for, like, the next playthrough. I don't know. Actually, next playthrough, Avery is probably going to be with us. And I don't want Avery to think poorly of me whilst I am romancing them, so maybe we do it now. Look, I know it's an invasion of her privacy, but we've got to do whatever we can to find her. Okay, fine, but I'm going to stand over your shoulder the whole time and make sure you don't go looking for anything personal. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There are simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor, and they overlap each other in a chaotic, multi-layer display. There's a picture of Gretchen. There's a picture of a man with a mustache holding Gretchen. Who's that supposed to be? I wonder. Maybe her dad? Nice try, Mr. FBI. Sift through the chaos. You've spent plenty of time with computers and are more than capable of sifting through the chaos of a messy desktop. With Booksmart. One folder catches your eye. Boring tax stuff. Years of helping friends with their computers have made you all too familiar with this folder. Boring tax stuff never contains boring tax stuff. For that matter, it never contains anything related to taxes, and its contents are never boring. You opened the folder. You're surprised to find it contains a carefully mapped out diagram of the Scarlet Hollow mines, including holes in fences and areas with low visibility. There's also a handful of old photos of Stella and Tabitha together as teenagers. Tabitha wears an uncharacteristic grin, an authentic, joyful smile. And Stella's eyes are somehow brighter, less tired. Both of them seem to be living in a happier time. Check her open tabs. It would take you all day to count the number of open tabs in Stella's browser. So numerous are her tabs that you can't see a single icon. A sea of rounded, featureless triangles from Windows edge to Windows edge. Her most recently opened tab is a post on Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm, a forum for cryptozoology enthusiasts. You've visited Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm in the past. Despite the name, and despite the fact that posters call themselves Carl's Big Feet, the community takes itself very seriously, and it's one of the more consistently active cryptid boards on the web. The post in question is titled, "Something Big is Happening in Scarlet Hollow." Hidden Appalachia, that's Stella. Hey everyone, was out chasing a skunk ape sighting the other day, and I found these weird little guys. My friend's mom says there's something called ditchlings, but I've never heard of them before. Anyone have any good leads? Bride of Bigfoot. Camera isn't shaky enough, this is totally staged. Moth Stan. Clean footage and some sort of cryptid nobody has heard of except for your friend's mom. The only thing I'm seeing when I Google ditchlings is some city in England. Thought you were legit. Oh no, Stella's being cyberbullied. Guys, since when did high quality footage count as anything other than actual evidence? Those things are terrifying. Since every low budget horror movie started doing guerrilla marketing, I smell an ARG. I'm serious. I've got a ton of extra footage. Look at this nest. They've been doing something to the animals in town, and they're apparently some sort of bad omen, like Mothman. Okay, I'm listening. I love me a Mothman, says Mothstan. I believe you. Ugh, luckily you're falling right into your lap. Her lap. I don't trust YouTubers. They're entertainers, not scientists. Sick. The thread continues into the next day. Hey, okay, 1, this isn't an ARG, so I would never, and 2, you're not going to believe this, but we went into an abandoned mine last night to investigate things, and I'm pretty sure we found some Tommy knockers. Listen to this knocking we managed to catch on tape. There's a link to an audio file titled tommyknockersreal.wave. Just because you put the word real in your file name doesn't mean they're real. 2 supernatural events on back-to-back nights. This is so fake. I can't believe I bought into that River Runner hype. You're so full of it. YouTubers are always going to sell out to big indie horror. This is Kidnapped by Aliens all over again. Also, lol, Joey White things and now loud popping noises. This is definitely an ARG. Did you sell out to Pillsbury? Oh my god. Stop cyberbullying her or I'm going to call the mods. Yes, be nice to Stella. Locking this thread and giving everyone a 7-day ban. No cyberbullying and no self-promo. The thread ends. Ouch. Search history. She hasn't visited any websites since Tuesday night. If she came home after last night's incident, she didn't touch her browser. Her search history is almost entirely work-related. A furious series of queries for various monsters and cryptids that might fit the profile of ditchlings. That's that. I think we've seen enough. Thank God. Yeah, we snooped on Stella's computer, and we got an achievement called Hacker Man. Should we say it's a mess and bother Kaneeka? I don't think there's any clues here. I don't think so either. This is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. She still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Alright, leave. You leave Stella's house. Okay, so she's not here and we still have no idea where she is. I thought I was overreacting this morning. I thought she would have just been sleeping in or something. I can't believe she's actually missing. We're going to the cops. I know they probably won't actually do anything, but we should see if we can get them to start looking for her before we go anywhere else. Yeah, we should make sure the police know Stella's missing. I just completely did not go to the cops last time because I figured they would do nothing. I didn't realize that was missing time with Bo, which made me very sad when I learned it, but we're getting it now. Alright, I need another sip. Hero cop saves kitten. Bowling championship for Derrickson, I guess. I love the little details in these screens. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're not alone here. You enter to find a worried Bo standing between you and the officer behind the desk. Big Betty wasn't just a pumpkin, Deputy Franklin, sir. She was going to be a prize winner. Raising her was the last thing me and my daddy did together. She's important to our family. The Scarlet Hollow police are spread pretty thin at the moment, young man. Any property disputes will have to wait, if indeed there is a dispute to be had. Are you sure it wasn't some animal that took your vegetable? No, he's locked all of his animals up in my greenhouse. Sir, you know Mr. Tremaine thinks that land belongs to him. He probably thought Big Betty was his to take. He ain't coming to his door, so for all I know, he might be all the way to the state fair by now with our pumpkin. Ain't there something you can do about it? Bo, did you manage to find your dad? Bo's stoic expression breaks, and for a moment you can almost see tears forming in his eyes, but he blinks them away. Yeah, I found him. I gathered what there was to gather. We're giving him a proper burial in the family plot. It's been tough going, trying to dig a hole while the farm is crawling with those hairless things, but it needs to get done. Do you think they'll go back to where they came from soon? Mom and me have tried to fight them back best we can, but it seems like there's more every minute. I kinda like them. Halloween's in just a few days. I'm personally doing everything I can to send them packing. I'll do my part to help. I'll kick in as many of those nasty little faces as I can, but I don't know how many I can stand scampering off. Seems like there's no end to those critters. Are you part of a cult? Why would I ask that? What's all this about a pumpkin? I want to ask him about the goat. Oh, are we asking him if he's part of a cult because of the goat? Like it's a sacrifice kind of thing? Julius Tremaine stole Big Betty, and I'm trying to get the police to talk to him. And I've been telling Mr. Calloway that there's no way to prove who the vegetable in question belonged to. If there's no documentation, it's your word against his. The Calloways and the Tremaines have been at this a long time. Some feud from over a century ago split the families, and they've been at it ever since. I remember this. The Tremaines and the Calloways split some land between them after a rift in the family, right? They just couldn't get along with our side of the family. They made up a whole new property line and decided anything that grew on their side of it belonged to them, and they didn't let us Calloways touch none of it. This is a generations-old feud you're talking about, son. And before you say anything, we've tried reasoning with both parties in the past. I would try if he weren't such an angry man. I can abide by living next to somebody he ain't friendly with, but stealing just for the sake of it is low. What makes you think Julius stole it? He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. He's never been good about the property line, same as every Tremaine that came before him. We get our fair share of calls from Mr. Tremaine as well. Not that I'm at liberty to discuss confidential police information. I was hoping we'd get a reprieve from his nonsense after what happened to Daddy, but it don't look like he's willing to give us any time to grieve. You want me to go over there and kick his ass for you? I don't think Bo's asking you to throw Julius in jail or anything. I'll ask about the pumpkin. Why is this pumpkin so valuable? She was gonna get us a blue ribbon. Daddy said she was nearly 2,000 pounds. We was supposed to be at the state fair by now, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen this year. And Mr. Tremaine ain't even coming to his door to answer for what he done. Just holed up like the coward he is. At the very least, he can give me back some seeds from what's left of her so I can try again next year. She was an important pumpkin to our family. How do you even move a 2,000-pound pumpkin? I don't know how he did it, but he did it. It could have easily been a bear, or a mountain lion, any large animal. Weren't no bear. We're hunting folk, we know the signs. This was a man's work, and that means it was Mr. Tremaine. He knew just what to do to hurt our family. I don't think he's asking you to throw Julius in jail or anything. Why can't you look into this? Diana's right. I ain't asking for much. You know, Mike, it sounds like Bo has a real case here. It's not just two neighbors getting angry at each other. Property's been stolen. Couldn't you get involved on his behalf just this once, after everything he's been through? This isn't the first time there's been a theft between the Callaways and Tremaines. We've heard it all. We know exactly how it'll play out. Trust the police to do the policing, ma'am. What would it take for the cops to get involved? Why? Are you looking to escalate the situation? None of us are planning on doing any escalating. We're just asking questions. Good, let's keep it that way. I promise I won't do nothing bad, Mr. Deputy, sir. Alright. I don't know who we're asking about being part of a cult. That must be about the goat. Stella ran off last night and she's still missing. A missing person? Apologies, Mr. Calloway, but I'm going to have to handle this first. Deputy Franklin pulls out a few forms from the front desk and holds them out. If one of you could fill these out, please. I can take care of that. Thank you so much for taking this seriously, Mike. I know Stella has a tendency to go on hiking trips, but this feels different. She can't be in her right mind going back out into them woods after what happened to my daddy. Thanks for taking this seriously. I take everything seriously. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? Doesn't this town have 3 cops? Where are the other 2? Haven't you heard? There's a nasty strike going on at the mines. Miss Scarlet's asked us to try to bring the temperature down a bit. And I drew the short straw for being stuck on desk duty. Bring the temperature down? I'm sorry, are Earl and Dennis working for the town, or are they working for Tabitha? I'd rather not get into it right now, Miss Forsythe. I'm gonna ask the cult question. Are you folks part of a cult? Cult? Like devil worshippers or hippies or some such made-up nonsense? There's no such thing, kid. Franklin lowers his sunglasses again. His judgmental gaze tells you he's considering whether you're fully sane. You know, we only started getting weird calls when you rolled into town. And weren't you present at the collapse the other night? We had a long discussion about you here at the station after the dust settled. Maybe you're projecting. Maybe it's you who bred a cult to our peaceful little town. There are no cults. There is no secret cabal that runs the police. There is no outside influence trying to sow chaos in Scarlet Hollow of all places. Everybody calm down. Alright. I thought maybe that would be addressing the goat situation. It's obviously Bo who put the goat in there, right? He used to live on a farm. He said the person who brought him down there was blonde. But why did you put a goat in my greenhouse, Bo? But I guess I can't ask him that, so let's just get going. Kaneeka hands the completed report back to Deputy Franklin. Thank you, ma'am. I'll get this filed right away. Good luck out there. I hope Miss Richmond is all right and y'all find her soon. We'll be on our way. Best keep your nose clean out there, Diana. Try to stay out of trouble. Why won't they just do their jobs, says the achievement. Well, at least we filed a report. Still, I guess finding Stella is going to be mostly up to us. Where to next? Alright. I really want to check out the church. We should check out the church. The church? What, do you think Stella decided to get religious all of a sudden? The pastor can also talk to animals. I must speak to him. I want to tell Pastor Daniel that ghosts are real. I want to rub it in his face. Alright, Kaneeka already doesn't like me. I might as well tell her. The pastor can also talk to animals. I must speak with him. Of all the other people out there who can also talk to animals, him? Really? Okay, we can go to the church, but please don't wind up befriending him just because he shares your weird animal thing. Oh yeah. She was like, she accepted it. She was like, I like scraps. Gretchen has good taste. It's bad enough that you keep bringing Tabitha around with you. I don't want to have to deal with two intensely unlikable people on a regular basis. Kaneeka leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope towards the church. Alright, where is that weirdo? My, 3 visitors at once? On a Thursday? This is unprecedented. But there are only 2 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Sup, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I'd had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dude. I want to see if Faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart. When he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you. And of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night, and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hoped maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's just over by the Alpacas. Though, Diana, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Sure, what's up? I'll guess I'll leave you to it while I check in with Janie. Kaneeka heads off towards Janie and the Alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I'm so glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point that it must have been the Lord himself, talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. But I thought I was the only one. Are we sure we're actually talking to animals? Now that I know there are at least 2 of us, I have no doubt. There have definitely been times in my life when I thought I might just be insane. But it's so consistent, and I've never exhibited any other signs of insanity. In my most doubting moments, I have considered the possibility that other entities may be using the animals to confuse my faith, but besides a particularly vicious hamster I had growing up, the most an animal has ever tried to convince me to do is give them more food. So I somehow doubt they're puppets for some otherworldly evil, unless that otherworldly evil wants me to overfeed my pets. Have we been cursed? Why do we suffer this fate? I don't think it's a curse. It can be annoying at times, but so can talking to people. Not that I feel that way very often, of course. As a servant of God, I am always ready and willing to talk with my fellow man about anything they need to discuss. Spiritually, I've always rationalized it as God's sign that I should spread his word to even the beasts of his world. I've had mixed results. Seems the Alpacas prefer Catholicism, which they know about somehow. Oh my god. That is so funny. Why is that so funny? The Alpacas are Catholic, and birds tend to be incredibly heretical. Physically, I wish I had answers. I wish I could approach a scientist about this without becoming a research experiment. But I have preferred to keep quiet at my doctor's visits. I can't risk being locked away or altered in some permanent way, not when I have a family to take care of. Have you met Frou-Frou, Gretchen, Pixel? Of course I have. But I learned early on in life not to let on that I have this gift, at least while other humans are around, so I haven't spoken to any of them. Though I get the feeling Frou-Frou wouldn't talk to me even if she knew I could understand her. You're correct, Daniel. I've tried to befriend the alpacas when no one else is around. Emphasis on tried. They're surprisingly cliquey. Besides that, I try to maintain a low profile, only chatting with the wildlife when I'm sure no one is looking. Is your gift why you got the church? It's hard to say. I was raised Baptist by two loving parents and was always interested in religion, but I've also always known about my talents, so I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm religious in spite of the gift. It hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of the religious education I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, both you and I know that's not true. Though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. But those are conversations that I am glad to leave to the scholars. I'm just a simple small-town pastor. I don't need to ask the big questions anymore. I just have to help people through their daily lives. Alright. Is this why people think you're creepy? Because you have the gift? People think I'm creepy? But it's alright. People say all kinds of things. I just have to be patient and persistent, and I know eventually they'll understand that I can be a comforting presence in their lives, not a creepy one. Maybe if I grew a thicker beard, people would trust me more. Or maybe I could get a cool jacket. I hope you don't think the two of us sharing the gift means we're friends, or I hope you know that this means the two of us are bonded for life. Best friends. Nobody understands what it's like to be us. I can't express how much of a relief it is to finally meet someone else like me. Likewise, though it may be more than just the two of us now. I have my suspicions that Tulip might have inherited the gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig, and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush on the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You won't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mom with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Aw, Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and it looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Oh, Tetanus Lake. Stella told me about it. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. What were you saying about the church rats? Ah, yes, the rats. So you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. It's usually nothing that needs to be paid attention to. But these rats, there's something so sinister about them. And they must be huge, judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip had never shown evidence of the ability before. She's never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversations with birds. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it, the way I did growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats. She calls them her friends, has been drawing all these pictures of them. Really ghastly things. I've tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word, like it's her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also all live out in that trash heap. and ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. I'm concerned she's going to get hurt or catch some kind of disease. What have they been saying? They like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. They watch me through unseen holes and make fun of me and try to figure out how to press my buttons. It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I'd hate to think what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Have you actually seen them? No, but I don't need to. I lived in a dorm that had rats once. We never see them, but the church has all the signs of an infestation, and there's no mistaking the sound of little creatures stampeding through the walls. I've left out some humane rat traps, but they're too smart for them. All it's done is waste peanut butter. And I caught a possum in one, poor things. Possums are never very bright, but at least he got a big nice scoop of peanut butter out of the ordeal. Has Janie heard them? She's not in the church very often. She's usually in town doing her jobs until late, and we spend our evenings in the house. It's just me and Tulip all day long. Janie knows Tulip has made some strange little friends, but thinks it's an imagination game. I was hoping I'd sort out the rat issue before she could get suspicious, but they're persistent, so I may have to hire an exterminator if I can get the money for one. I hope it doesn't have to come to that. Are you sure they're rats? I think so. The pastor shifts uncomfortably for a moment. I hope so. You should talk to Tulip about the gift. I'm sure both of us could have used some guidance growing up. You're right. I grew up with this ability. If anyone can help her understand not to engage with evil little creatures like the rats that are eating God's house from the inside out, it's me. I can handle this. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kaneeka walking back to the two of you. She must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we better get along. Hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kaneeka starts back down the path to town, and you follow. Okay, now that we put some distance between us and the church, what did he want to talk to you about? He didn't say anything weird, did he? Tulip's apparently made some weird imaginary friends. We might want to check it out later this week. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time. Pastor Daniel says there's a rat infestation in the church and that the rats are her friends. I don't know, it seemed weird. Okay. I guess as much as I'd hate going back there, that's a loose lead. If we don't have anything else to investigate once we found Stella and... Kaneeka pauses. Once we've checked out the clinic, then maybe we can look around the church. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? Where to next, indeed. Wherever we go to next, I'm going to do it in the next episode. Because this is about a good episode length, I think. We've done some good exploring, seen a lot of things I didn't see last time. Everything to do with the police station and Big Betty's disappearance. As well as some really intriguing stuff about the church and Pastor Daniel and his daughter Tulip. I did not expect the church storyline to be going in this direction. I am just so fascinated by this. Oh my god. I'm so excited to see where this goes. But anyway, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Scarlet Hollow.